Good morning. Thank you, Dorian, so much, and thank you, Tipping Point, for this wonderful honor. I do this work because it is my life. If you were to put my family facts and demographics on paper, father's family has a history of alcoholism, paternal grandfather was violent, siblings spent time in jail, you would see that my upbringing isn't all that different from the young people that we serve at Larkin Street. My parents worked in the casinos in Tahoe in 1960. My dad was a great guy to be around until he would start to drink. There were times when he would forget to pick my sister and I up from childcare, and other times when he was violent toward my mom. My parents divorced when my sister and I were 5, and after living with my aunt for a year, my mom moved us to Reno. We lived in what I now know is public housing, and like so many single parents, my mom worked 2 jobs to take care of us. Unlike so many of the young people that I see at Larkin Street, we never went hungry, we weren't scared, and even though she was only making $5 an hour, she managed to keep a roof over our head, food in our bellies, babysitters when she had to work, and we even went skiing sometimes. After a few years, my mom remarried. My stepdad had a chronic heart condition and custody of his 2 sons, who had had it pretty rough before they came to live with him. And although there was a whole lot of love in our house, there was a lot of competing demands for attention and not a lot of time. My sister found stable employment right out of high school. Our youngest brother dropped out of high school, and our oldest brother became addicted to meth. The only reason I didn't quit going to school or get pregnant was the support and structure I gained in joining the Sacramento Freelancers, a 128-person competitive drum and bugle corps. It was the first place that I felt like I truly belonged. That community, along with the support of a few good teachers and mentors who believed in me, helped me become the first in my family to pursue college. Becoming a social worker was not an accident. I've worked with domestic violence survivors, sexual assault survivors, abused and neglected children, and the severely mentally ill. And then I met Larkin Street in 2003. I'd been hired to lead a training on substance abuse, and when I saw the deep dedication and passion of the staff and volunteers, I once again felt like I belonged. I think that feeling, the sense that you belong, is the magic that is Larkin Street. After carting around everything they own in a backpack or a bag and feeling ostracized or invisible, Larkin Street is the first place that many of our young people feel seen. There are a lot of myths about homeless youth. I think the biggest of which is that it is somehow their choice. We question, we look away, not because we don't care, but because we just don't know what their experiences have been. Some of the youth we serve are the ones you see and notice, the tough girl on the street with tattoos and piercings, but there are many you don't see. The kid who's still trying to go to school every day, even after his parents kicked him out for being gay, or the 15-year-old runaway sleeping in our shelter at night with her stuffed animals. Here's what we do know about the young people. 25% of the youth we serve have been abused in some way. A third have some sort of mental health issue. Half have parents who are unable or unwilling to care for them. And many come to us straight from the foster care system. At Larkin Street, our job is to see their potential. We teach them that the skills that they've built to cope, the hiding, the lashing out, the hurting themselves, are the opposite of those that you need to be successful in the everyday world most of us know. We start small. We hand out socks and toothbrushes in the park, maintaining safe places for young people to rest. And then we think big. We have 25 programs across the city to provide housing, education, employment, specialized services for those with HIV and acute needs. We have learned that it sometimes takes more than one go around at Larkin Street, and that it is the sum of all of our interventions and the relationships that we build with the young people that truly makes the difference. And we're not just talking about getting kids off the street and a job at the local fast food place. The expectation is much higher. 75% of the young people that complete our transitional living programs exit with stable housing and the skills they need to be self-sufficient. I've been the executive director at Larkin Street since 2005, and I've worked with a lot of different stakeholders. But our relationship with Tipping Point really stands out. It begins with their extraordinary due diligence. Y'all know what I'm talking about if you've been through it. They asked things about our finances and our operations that I had just not discussed in that depth with any other funder. And when we upgraded our database system from a paper-based system to one that tracks real-time outcomes in real time, I was like, we're going to get this done on time because we promised Daniel and Tipping Point. Tipping Point pushes us to think beyond the outcomes of each individual program. How many kids go to college, how much they earn in wages, or how stable their mental health is, to our true collective impact. Tipping Point is like that little voice in the back of your head that believes in you, that asks the tough questions and keeps pushing until you believe you can do it too. The staff trainings, the open back and forth dialogue, I have no doubt as a result of that, we are better, because what doesn't kill you will make you stronger. And being stronger means that we can help more young people. I am reminded of Richard. Richard was a young man who came to us when he was 18. His mom had remarried, and he and his stepfather did not get along, and they fought a lot. And finally, his stepfather told him to get out. When Richard came to our shelter, he was scared. He had never been on his own before. Our team got him a spot at our transitional housing program, Avenues to Independence. Richard lived there for 2 years, joined the higher up employment program, and started classes at City College. He did a final year at our Ellis Street apartments before he was ready to make it on his own. As is typical, we didn't hear anything from Richard for a few years. Demand for our services skyrocketed at that time, and we were constantly looking for extra apartments for our young people. After responding to the Craigslist ads and reaching out to realtors to find additional units for rent, our residential services program director, Ruth, got a call back. She picked up the phone, and it was Richard on the other end. He told her that since they had last spoken, he'd graduated from college, gotten his real estate license, and was working full-time for a property management company in the city. I know what it means to somehow find a home when things feel hopeless, he said, and now I help other people get that feeling too. Richard referred Ruth to a few building managers and has continued to give us leads on apartments. Larkin Street caught me, the young adults say, when they talk about what we do for them. They made me feel welcome. I felt seen and heard. As I think about the 70,000 young people who have been served by Larkin Street over the past 30 years, I wonder who would be there for them if we weren't. And we couldn't be there for them if you weren't here to invest in our work so deeply. Thank you so much for making it possible for us to help thousands of young people seek out their fullest potential and find a place to call home. Thank you.